Speaking of the periodic table, unfortunately, or fortunately, it was commissioned by sci-fi.com, which no longer exists, and all the links to it go to 404. Do you have any plans to reissue the periodic table on your own?
We've had some nibbles. Well, it came out in hardcover in England, and that's gone, and it's a pricey item as it is. I've had some people who were interested, but it fell through a couple of times because it's a small press project, and small press people, you know, if you get sick or if your car breaks down, that puts everything back on hold again. However, I did take and put it online. I got a Blogger account. I copied everything and I put it down separately. You can actually find it online. The interface is not as good, but you can find every one of the elements.
What is the URL for that?
Gosh, I think it's I think it's periodic table sciencefiction.blogspot.com. So you're better off searching for it than trying to type it all out.
Okay.
Or what you can do is Theodore Gray, who is one of the most impressive people you've probably never heard of, and he, in addition to his many other things, he won an Ig Nobel Prize for his conference table. He made a conference table, wooden periodic table, and each one of the element squares has a little lid that can lift off, and so underneath most of them, those which are not gases or radioactive, there's a little sample of the element in question. So, and he has a tremendous website online with full of all kinds of goodies connected to each element. Yes, for sodium, he's it's a flash fiction from a party at his house. He invented a device that floats on the pond out back that would release a ½ pound of sodium into the water. So it releases to the water and goes screaming up into the air, all trailing flames, and then comes falling down and hits the water and goes screaming up again. And in the background, if you listen, you can hear the sick laughter of his guests. It sounds like the last days of Pompeii. So I recommend that site, the wooden periodic table of the elements. Definitely look it up. Lots of fun.
Theodore Gray, as in a theater and the color?
Theodore and the color.
Oh, Theodore Gray. Okay, great.
Theodore Gray. He's a co-founder of the company that distributes Mathematica.
What are the Scribbledy-Hobbledy-Hoideny?
Oh.
And what are they doing on your blog?
That's my notebooks. When I was young, I always have a notebook. I scribble down my ideas and notions in it. And when I was young, I named them. I named one of them Scribbledy-Hobbledy-Hoideny, because James Joyce had named his notebook Scribbledy-Hobble. So I just Scribbledy-Hob. So I just carried on a few more syllables, and then I made it Scribbledy-Hobbledy-Hoideny for the plural, and there's probably somewhere between 100 and 300 of them by now. And people are always really curious about my notebook when I'm carrying it around, and they always ask to see it. So I thought, okay, I just took one of my notebooks, I scanned it page by page, and I put it on there so they could see how a writer's mind works. Now, it's not the prettiest process in the world, and it doesn't make me look very impressive, but it's full of strange stuff.
Well, it made you look very sweet when you saved the award given to your son for a project. It looked like a Christmas project, so it was very cute, but a little bit, I didn't know what it was. So, but hey, lots of good things. We don't know what they are at first. What's next for you?
I've got about a half dozen short stories to write at the moment, because I do that for pleasure, and I'm really excited about the stories I'm working on. I have one story I've got a half page in the middle to write, and it'll be done, called The Mongolian Wizard. When I began it, I said, this is just too much fun. It's all sweetness and light and Smurfs and laughs. And I'm not sure I can finish it because it's just not serious enough. And by the time I got to the end of it, it's only like a 4,000 word story. It's very short. Then I got to the end of it. I said, this is one of the bleakest things I've ever written. So I'm having fun with those. I know what my next 2 novels are going to be, and I plan to start both of them with an emphasis on one of them in the next couple of months. One of them is going to be the next Art and Surplus novel. In the next novel, the 2 lads go to China, and they're going to have a very, very different kind of adventure there, although it's still going to be very much the 2 of them having an adventure and enjoying what a splendid time they're having and what good people they are. And beyond that, I've got all kinds of things I want to write. I want to write a young adult book that I have a notion for. I want to do basically a picture book for adults. I've got I just have all these wonderful, wonderful projects. Oh, and my wife has taken one of the stories I made up for my son, and she, Marianne, has formed her own, what she calls a nano press. She's a very small press publisher. And she always loved this story, and for reasons that'll be obvious in a minute, no publisher would touch it. But when my son was little, I made up stories for him pretty much every night. And some of the best of them are pretty good, and one of them was Sam the Asteroid. I actually made it up as a book when he was 4, and he sat on my knee, and I read him the story, and we got to the end, he laughed, he said, that means everybody dies, right, Daddy? And I said, yes, my son does. And I said, no, I mean everybody in the world dies, right, Daddy? He went, yes, my son, they do. And he laughed and laughed and laughed. So this is black humor for small children. And Marianne has commissioned a young artist who's a friend of Sean's, and to do the art. Very good, very talented young man named Adam Cusack, and she's going to be turning this into a book. And the really cool thing about it'll be limited edition, obviously, and I suspect most of them will not be given to small children, but the really cool thing about it is this format. She wants to do it in the same format, basically, as a golden book.
Ooh. Yeah, that would be kind of very black, very dark. That could be a lot of fun for those of us who have peculiar senses of humor. Anything that you'd like to add that we haven't talked about that's on your mind?
No, I'm just having a good time these days.
What about your earring?
Oh.
Could you tell the viewers about that?
Okay, well, this one is actually a small book. It's individual pages, and I have not yet gotten around to writing a story to go in there that will fit in there. But Marianne tells me that I must, so I shall. Normally I wear shark's tooth earrings, and the reason I wear shark's tooth earrings is that I tend to shed earrings behind myself.
Ah,
and
like a shark.
Like a shark. So it seemed very appropriate. But when I came here today, I had shed my last one. I could not find any, so I had to move to one that I'm going to have to keep a little more
closer track of.
Closer track of, yes, exactly.
Well, you can't lose it until you've written the story.
No.
Then you lose it and it's published. Where can your fans find you?
Well, Dancing with Bears, my new novel, is out on the stands right now in hardcover from Nightshade Press and Nightshade Books, excuse me. And I appear. My stories appear often in Asimov Science Fiction. There's a story coming up on Tor.com. In Eclipse 4, there's one, and there are more coming out all the time. I've really put on a burst of productivity lately, and I'm just hoping to keep this going indefinitely.
That would be wonderful. What's your website? And you have a blog that I think is updated more frequently than the website.
Yes, my website is michaelswanwick.com, and my blog is floggingbabel.blogspot.com. I gave it that title when I was promoting the Dragons of Babel, And now, when I'm not promoting The Dragons of Babel, I'm going, really, I should have come up with something perhaps a little less specific to that book, the title. But the people who read my blog told me, no, don't change the title. It'd be too much work for us.
And it is very distinctive, so people can find you there. Thank you so much for talking with us today, and thank you, viewers, for BuzzyMultimedia.com. Jean Marie Ward signing off.